True beauty is not created by makeup, filters, or attention. It's created by habits, quiet habits, that shape the soul before they shape the face. Some women grow more beautiful with time, while others fade no matter how much they try. The difference is not genetics, it's what they practice daily when no one is watching. Today, we'll talk about the habits that don't just make a woman attractive, they make her radiant, grounded, and unforgettable. Inner peace before outer appearance. Inner peace comes before outer appearance because the face reflects what the heart carries. A woman may use makeup, fashion, and effort to look beautiful, but if her heart is constantly tense, anxious, or unsettled, that unrest quietly shows. Islam teaches us that the heart is the center of the human being. When the heart is calm, the entire presence softens, the eyes become gentler, the expressions relax. Even the way a woman walks and speaks changes. Inner peace does not erase life's difficulties, but it changes how those difficulties live inside you. A woman who protects her peace is not easily shaken by noise, opinions, or pressure. That steadiness creates a natural glow that cannot be manufactured. People often say someone looks lighter or brighter, not realizing that what they are seeing is peace, not appearance. Inner peace reduces stress, and stress is one of the fastest things that ages the face and hardens the features. When the heart rests, the body follows. Islam encourages tranquility because tranquility preserves both the soul and the body. Beauty begins there. When inner peace is missing, a woman may constantly feel the need to fix her outer self. She may chase approval, validation, or perfection, hoping it will quiet something inside. But Islam teaches that no external change can settle an unsettled heart. True peace comes from alignment, not appearance. A woman who prioritizes inner peace stops reacting to everything around her. She becomes selective with her energy, her words, and her attention. This selectiveness protects her nervous system. When the nervous system is calm, the face relaxes naturally. Tension leaves the jaw. The brow softens. The voice becomes slower and steadier. These changes are subtle, but they are deeply felt by others. People are drawn to calm because calm feels safe. Safety is attractive. A peaceful woman does not rush, compete, or perform. She moves at her own pace. That pace gives her presence depth. Depth makes beauty last. Islam values calm because calm allows wisdom to lead. When wisdom leads, beauty becomes a byproduct, not a goal. Inner peace also changes how a woman handles hardship. Life will always include stress, loss, and disappointment. The difference is how those experiences settle inside the heart. A woman who prioritizes peace processes pain without letting it define her. Islam teaches patience paired with trust. This combination prevents bitterness. Bitterness hardens the face and the heart. Peace softens both. A woman who trusts Allah during difficulty may still cry, but she does not collapse internally. Her resilience shows quietly. That resilience adds to her beauty because it reflects strength without harshness. Strength that is gentle is deeply attractive. It shows in posture, tone, and expression. Inner peace allows emotions to move through without taking over. This emotional balance keeps the face open rather than guarded. Guarded faces age faster. Peaceful faces remain welcoming. When inner peace is present, a woman no longer compares herself constantly. Comparison steals peace and replaces it with restlessness. Islam teaches contentment with Allah's decree. Contentment calms the heart. A content woman does not constantly scan the world to see if she measures up. She focuses inward. This inward focus creates confidence. Confidence is visible. It shows in how she holds eye contact, how she listens, and how she smiles. Her smile is not forced. It comes easily because her heart is not heavy with self-doubt. Inner peace frees a woman from the exhausting cycle of comparison. That freedom lightens her presence. Lightness is beautiful because it feels effortless. People sense when someone is comfortable being themselves. Inner peace also influences daily habits. A peaceful woman sleeps better, eats more mindfully, and moves with intention. Islam encourages balance in daily life. Balance supports health. Health enhances beauty naturally. When the body is cared for without obsession, it responds positively. Skin improves, energy stabilizes, eyes appear brighter. These are not cosmetic results, they are physiological responses to reduced stress. Stress hormones affect appearance directly. Peace lowers those hormones. Lower stress allows the body to repair itself. Inner peace becomes visible because the body is no longer in survival mode. Survival mode shows as tension, peace shows as ease. A woman who prioritizes inner peace also sets emotional boundaries. She does not entertain constant negativity, drama, or chaos. Islam teaches protecting the heart as an amana. Boundaries preserve peace. Preserved peace preserves beauty. When a woman stops allowing others to disturb her inner world, her outer world reflects that decision. She looks more composed. Composure is elegant. Elegance does not require expensive clothing. It comes from self-control and calm. A composed woman carries herself with dignity. Dignity enhances beauty far more than trends ever could. Inner peace also deepens spiritual connection. When the heart is calm, worship becomes sincere rather than rushed. Islam teaches that remembrance brings tranquility, tranquility brings light. That spiritual light reflects outward. People may not name it, but they feel it. They say someone has nur. That nur is not cosmetic, it is the result of a heart at rest with Allah. This light softens the face and steadies the presence. It cannot be replicated artificially, it grows with consistency. A peaceful woman speaks differently. Her voice is not rushed or sharp. She pauses before responding. Islam teaches thoughtful speech. Thoughtful speech reduces regret and conflict. Reduced conflict protects peace. Protected peace keeps the face relaxed. Facial tension often comes from suppressed emotions and constant defensiveness. Peace removes the need for defense. When defense leaves, openness returns. Open expressions are inviting. Inviting energy enhances beauty. Inner peace also protects a woman from emotional exhaustion. Constant emotional ups and downs drain vitality. Islam teaches moderation. A moderate emotional state preserves energy. Preserved energy shows as vitality. Vitality is attractive because it feels alive yet calm. A peaceful woman is not dull, she is centered. Centered people radiate steadiness. That steadiness draws others in naturally. Inner peace before outer appearance is not about neglecting how you look. It is about understanding order. When peace comes first, appearance follows naturally. Islam teaches that what is inside shapes what is outside. A woman who protects her peace grows more beautiful with time because her beauty is not fighting stress, comparison, or fear. It is flowing from alignment, faith, and calm strength. Strong connection with Allah. A strong connection with Allah transforms a woman from the inside before it ever touches the outside. Islam teaches that the heart finds true peace only through remembrance of Allah. And when the heart is at peace, the entire presence changes. A woman connected to Allah carries herself differently. Her movements are calmer, her expressions softer, and her reactions more thoughtful. This connection is not about perfection or constant worship. It is about sincerity and consistency. When a woman turns to Allah regularly through prayer, dua, and quiet reflection, her heart becomes anchored. That anchor steadies her during stress and uncertainty. Stress no longer lives permanently on her face. Worry does not tighten her features the same way. Instead, there is a gentle calm that settles into her eyes and voice. People often describe this as a light without realizing it is spiritual stability they are sensing. A strong connection with Allah reduces inner chaos. When inner chaos fades, beauty emerges naturally. This beauty is not loud or attention-seeking. It is comforting, grounding, and deeply felt. When a woman's connection with Allah is strong, She no longer seeks constant validation from people. Islam teaches that honor comes from Allah alone. This belief frees her from the exhausting need to be liked, chosen, or praised. She becomes emotionally independent, and emotional independence is deeply attractive. Her confidence does not come from compliments. It comes from knowing she is seen by Allah. This certainty softens her behavior. She no longer performs or pretends. She shows up as herself, calmly and honestly. That authenticity reflects on her face. There is less tension, less forced expression, and more natural ease. A woman connected to Allah smiles without trying. Her laughter is lighter because it is not compensating for insecurity. This inner security shapes her outer presence more powerfully than any external effort ever could. A strong connection with Allah also teaches patience. Patience calms the heart and slows the body. Islam teaches patience not as silence, but as trust in Allah's timing. A patient woman does not rush outcomes or chase people. She allows life to unfold. This patience reduces emotional strain. Emotional strain often shows as sharpness in the face and body. When patience replaces strain, the face relaxes, the shoulders drop, the voice steadies. These changes create an appearance of grace. Grace is one of the most beautiful qualities a woman can carry. It cannot be practiced artificially. It grows naturally in a heart that trusts Allah. Connection with Allah also cleans the heart from resentment and bitterness. Islam encourages forgiveness because holding anger hardens the soul. A hardened soul eventually hardens the face. When a woman regularly turns to Allah, she releases what weighs her down. She forgives more easily, not because she forgets pain, but because she trusts Allah with justice. This release lightens her spirit. Light spirits show in the eyes. They appear more open, more alive. Bitterness ages. Peace rejuvenates. A woman who lets Allah carry her burdens looks younger, calmer, and more approachable over time. A woman connected to Allah also becomes more mindful in her daily habits. Islam encourages cleanliness, balance, and care for the body. When faith is strong, self-care becomes intentional rather than obsessive. She rests when needed, eats with moderation, and respects her body as an amana. This balance supports health, and health supports beauty. There is no harshness or neglect. Her routines are gentle and consistent. Consistency is key to lasting beauty. Extreme effort burns out. Faith-guided balance sustains. Strong faith also changes how a woman speaks. Her words become measured, kind, and purposeful. Islam teaches guarding the tongue because words shape the heart. When speech is gentle, the face reflects that gentleness. Sharp words often come from inner agitation. Calm words come from inner peace. A woman connected to Allah listens more than she speaks. Listening softens the expression. Soft expressions feel inviting. This is beauty in its quietest form. Connection with Allah strengthens boundaries. Islam teaches self-respect and dignity. A woman grounded in faith does not allow chaos into her life easily. She steps away from what disturbs her peace without guilt. This self-respect reflects in posture and presence. She stands taller, walks slower, and carries herself with intention. Dignity enhances beauty far more than appearance alone ever could. Faith also protects a woman during hardship. Life will test everyone. The difference is how deeply those tests mark the soul. A woman connected to Allah bends without breaking. Her resilience shows subtly. Resilience creates depth, and depth makes beauty timeless. She grows stronger, not harder, softer, not weaker. A strong connection with Allah brings contentment. Contentment calms restlessness. Restlessness fuels comparison and dissatisfaction. Islam teaches contentment as a form of wealth. A content woman is at ease with herself. Ease is attractive because it feels real. She does not chase trends or approval. She lives simply and confidently. Strong connection with Allah is the root of lasting beauty because it aligns the heart with truth. When the heart is aligned, the body follows. Over time, a woman connected to Allah does not fade. She becomes more radiant, more grounded, and more beautiful in ways that cannot be explained, only felt. Self-respect and boundaries. Self-respect is the foundation of a woman's beauty because it shapes how she allows herself to be treated. Islam teaches that every human being has dignity granted by Allah, and honoring that dignity begins within. A woman who respects herself does not need to announce it. It shows in her choices, her tone, and the limits she sets. Boundaries are not walls built from fear, they are guidelines built from wisdom. When a woman practices self-respect, she becomes careful with her time, her emotions, and her energy. She no longer over-explains her needs or apologizes for having standards. This inner clarity reflects outward. Her posture becomes more confident. Her expression becomes calm. There is less tension in her body because she is not constantly bracing herself for disrespect. Self-respect removes the need to prove worth. A woman who knows her value before Allah does not chase acceptance from people. This quiet confidence is deeply attractive because it feels stable and grounded. Beauty grows where dignity is protected. Boundaries are the natural expression of self-respect. Islam does not teach unlimited tolerance. It teaches kindness paired with wisdom. A woman with boundaries understands that saying no does not make her unkind. It makes her honest. Honesty protects the heart. When a woman stops allowing behavior that disturbs her peace, her nervous system begins to relax. Relaxation softens the face, the eyes become clearer, the jaw unclenches. These physical changes are subtle but powerful. Stress often comes from repeatedly crossing our own limits. Boundaries remove that stress. A woman who honors her limits does not live in constant emotional defense. She feels safe within herself. Safety creates ease. Ease enhances beauty more than effort ever could. Self-respect also changes how a woman communicates. She speaks clearly and listens carefully. She does not raise her voice to be heard or lower it to be accepted. Islam teaches balanced speech. Balanced speech reflects balanced emotions. When emotions are balanced, the face remains open and composed. A woman with self-respect does not rush conversations out of fear of being misunderstood. She trusts that those who respect her will take the time to understand. This trust reduces anxiety. Reduced anxiety shows as calm presence. Calm presence draws people in naturally. Beauty rooted in calm lasts longer than beauty driven by approval. A woman with self-respect does not tolerate emotional confusion. She notices inconsistency and responds with clarity. Islam teaches discernment. Discernment protects the heart from repeated harm. When harm is reduced, resentment does not build. Resentment hardens the face and the spirit. Boundaries prevent that hardening. They keep the heart soft without making it vulnerable to injury. Softness with strength is a powerful combination. It allows a woman to remain kind without becoming depleted. This balance reflects outward as grace. Grace is a form of beauty that deepens with age rather than fading. Boundaries also teach others how to treat you. When a woman accepts disrespect, she unknowingly invites more of it. Islam teaches accountability and self-protection. A woman who enforces boundaries calmly sends a clear message. Peace is not negotiable. This message changes interactions. People become more mindful. Mindful interactions reduce conflict. Reduced conflict preserves emotional energy. Preserved energy shows as vitality. Vitality enhances beauty naturally. Self-respect frees a woman from guilt-driven behavior. Many women overgive because they fear disappointing others. Islam teaches that pleasing Allah comes before pleasing people. When a woman aligns her actions with this truth, guilt loosens its grip. She no longer sacrifices herself to maintain harmony. True harmony includes the self. This inclusion restores balance. Balanced women carry themselves with quiet confidence. That confidence feels dignified and attractive. Boundaries also protect spiritual well-being. When a woman repeatedly ignores her limits, her faith can feel heavy. Islam encourages ease in worship. When boundaries are respected, worship becomes lighter. Lightness reflects on the face. Spiritual ease often appears as softness and peace. People sense it without being told. A self-respecting woman does not argue her worth, she lives it. Islam teaches that actions speak louder than words. Consistent boundaries reinforce self-respect more than explanations ever could. This consistency creates reliability. Reliable energy feels safe. Safety enhances beauty because it relaxes both the giver and the receiver. Self-respect also shapes how a woman walks away. She leaves situations that drain her without anger or drama. Islam teaches leaving what does not benefit. A graceful exit preserves dignity. Dignity is visible. It shows in composure and calm. A woman who leaves without bitterness keeps her beauty intact. Self-respect and boundaries are not about becoming distant or cold. They are about becoming whole. When a woman honors herself as Allah intended, her beauty stops depending on effort. It flows naturally from alignment, calm, and quiet strength. Emotional discipline. Emotional discipline is one of the most powerful habits a woman can develop because it determines how she responds to life, not just how she feels about it. Islam does not teach us to suppress emotions, but it teaches us to guide them with wisdom. A woman with emotional discipline allows herself to feel sadness, anger, or disappointment, yet she does not let those emotions control her words or actions. This self-control creates calm within the heart. Calm reshapes presence. A disciplined woman does not react impulsively, argue unnecessarily, or explain herself out of insecurity. She pauses. That pause protects her dignity. Dignity reflects outward as confidence and beauty. When emotions are unmanaged, they often show on the face through tension, harsh expressions, and restlessness. Emotional discipline softens the face because it softens the inner dialogue. Islam values restraint because restraint preserves both peace and honor. A woman who practices emotional discipline does not live in emotional chaos. She becomes steady. Steadiness is attractive because it feels safe and mature. Beauty rooted in steadiness lasts longer than beauty driven by emotion. Emotional discipline teaches a woman to respond instead of react. Reacting is fast and careless. Responding is slow and intentional. Islam encourages reflection before action because reflection prevents regret. A woman who reflects before speaking saves herself from emotional exhaustion. She does not chase conversations to be understood or fight battles to be validated. She chooses silence when words would cause harm. Silence, when guided by wisdom, is not weakness, it is strength. Strength appears as composure. Composure is elegant. A composed woman carries herself with grace even under pressure. Grace changes how people perceive her. They listen more carefully. They speak more respectfully. Emotional discipline commands respect without demanding it. When a woman lacks emotional discipline, she may feel everything intensely and express it immediately. While honesty matters, unfiltered emotion often damages relationships and self-respect. Islam teaches balance. Balance allows emotion to be processed internally before being expressed externally. This process protects the heart from shame and regret. A woman with emotional discipline trusts herself to handle feelings privately first. She seeks Allah before seeking reaction. This trust builds inner security. Inner security relaxes the body and face. Relaxation enhances beauty naturally. A woman who feels emotionally safe within herself radiates calm energy. Calm energy is deeply attractive because it does not overwhelm others. Emotional discipline also protects a woman from manipulation. People often provoke reactions to gain control. Islam teaches awareness and wisdom. A disciplined woman does not give others power over her emotional state. She notices triggers without surrendering to them. This awareness keeps her centered. Centered women do not get pulled into unnecessary drama. Drama ages the soul and hardens the face. Emotional discipline preserves youthfulness because it reduces stress and emotional fatigue. Fatigue shows physically. Peace preserves vitality. A woman with emotional discipline understands that not every feeling requires action. Feelings come and go. Islam teaches patience with the self. Patience allows emotions to pass without leaving damage behind. This patience builds resilience. Resilience deepens beauty because it reflects strength without harshness. A resilient woman bends without breaking. Her softness remains intact. Softness, combined with control, is powerful. It creates warmth without chaos. Emotional discipline also shapes how a woman handles disappointment. Disappointment is inevitable. Islam teaches trust in Allah's decree. A disciplined woman processes disappointment without bitterness. She feels sadness, but does not live in resentment. Resentment drains life from the face and heart. Letting go restores lightness. Lightness reflects outward as peace. Peace is attractive because it feels real and sustainable. A disciplined woman speaks with intention. Her words are measured, not reactive. Islam teaches guarding the tongue. Guarded speech prevents emotional spills that later cause regret. Regret burdens the heart. A light heart carries beauty easily. When speech is controlled, relationships improve. Improved relationships reduce emotional strain. Reduced strain enhances presence and appearance. Emotional discipline also builds self-respect. A woman who controls her reactions honors herself. She does not beg, chase, or over-explain. Islam teaches dignity in conduct. Dignified conduct shows as calm confidence. Confidence without aggression is deeply attractive. It signals maturity and stability. Stability invites trust. A woman who practices emotional discipline becomes less dependent on external validation. Her emotions are regulated internally through faith and reflection. Islam teaches that hearts find peace through remembrance. Remembrance steadies emotion. Steady emotion shapes steady behavior. Steady behavior shapes character. Character is the most lasting form of beauty. Emotional discipline does not make a woman cold or distant. It makes her clear, calm, and grounded. When emotions are guided by faith and wisdom, beauty becomes effortless. It grows quietly, steadily, and deeply from the inside out. Kindness without self-betrayal. Kindness without self-betrayal begins with understanding that Islam never asks a woman to erase herself to be good. Kindness is a beautiful quality, but when it costs you your peace, dignity, or emotional safety, it turns into harm. Islam teaches mercy, but it also teaches wisdom. A kind woman does not abandon her needs to prove goodness. She does not tolerate disrespect to appear patient. True kindness flows from strength, not fear. When a woman betrays herself repeatedly to keep others comfortable, her heart grows tired. That tiredness eventually shows on her face, her posture, and her energy. Self-betrayal creates inner conflict, and inner conflict disrupts beauty. A woman who practices kind boundaries protects her heart while still treating others with respect. She understands that saying no gently is still kindness. Kindness rooted in self-respect feels calm, not forced. It allows a woman to remain soft without becoming vulnerable to harm. This balance reflects outward as grace and confidence. People feel safe around her because her kindness is genuine, not resentful or exhausted. Many women confuse kindness with constant giving. Islam teaches moderation in all things. Overgiving often comes from fear of rejection, not generosity. A woman who gives from fear slowly empties herself. Emotional exhaustion dulls the spirit and hardens the face. Kindness without self-betrayal means giving within limits. It means checking in with your heart before saying yes. A woman who honors her limits gives more sincerely because she is not secretly resentful. Resentment poisons kindness. It makes smiles forced and voices tense. When kindness is freely chosen, it feels light. Lightness enhances beauty. Islam encourages intentional actions because intention shapes impact. A woman who gives with clear intention experiences peace instead of depletion. Peace preserves vitality. Vitality reflects as warmth and presence. Kindness that preserves the self creates a steady glow that does not fade with time. Kindness without self-betrayal also means not accepting guilt as a tool of control. Islam does not teach guilt-driven obedience. A woman does not owe access to her heart or life simply because she is kind. When kindness is manipulated, it becomes a weakness instead of a virtue. A woman rooted in faith recognizes manipulation calmly. She does not argue or over-explain. She adjusts her boundaries quietly. This quiet adjustment preserves dignity. Dignity strengthens presence. A dignified woman looks composed because she is not constantly defending herself. Defense creates tension. Boundaries remove that tension. When tension leaves, the body relaxes. Relaxation enhances beauty naturally. People respect kindness more when it is paired with firmness. Firm kindness communicates self-worth. Self-worth stabilizes emotion. Stable emotions create a peaceful presence that others find deeply attractive. A woman who practices kindness without self-betrayal understands that compassion does not require constant availability. Islam teaches balance between serving others and caring for the self. A woman is not selfish for resting, stepping back, or prioritizing her well-being. Neglecting the self weakens the soul. A weakened soul struggles to remain gentle. When a woman honors her needs, her kindness becomes sustainable. Sustainable kindness feels warm, not draining. Warmth shows in the eyes and tone of voice. A woman who is emotionally nourished smiles differently. Her smile is relaxed, not strained. This authenticity enhances beauty far more than effort ever could. Kindness without self-betrayal also changes how a woman handles conflict. She does not sacrifice truth to keep peace. Islam values honesty paired with gentleness. A woman can be kind while still being clear. Clarity prevents misunderstanding. Misunderstanding creates emotional friction. Reduced friction preserves peace. Peace softens the heart and the face. A woman who speaks kindly and clearly does not carry unresolved tension. Unresolved tension ages the spirit. Resolution restores lightness. Lightness reflects outward as ease and grace. A kind woman who honors herself also chooses her environment carefully. Islam teaches protecting the heart. A woman does not place herself repeatedly in situations that require her to shrink. Shrinking erodes confidence. Confidence supports beauty. When a woman remains in spaces that honor her kindness, she flourishes. Flourishing shows as vitality and joy. Joy rooted in self-respect feels calm, not frantic. Calm joy is magnetic because it feels safe and genuine. Kindness without self-betrayal strengthens self-trust. When a woman listens to her discomfort and honors it, she builds trust with herself. Islam teaches accountability to the self. Self-trust reduces inner conflict. Reduced conflict preserves emotional energy. Energy shows physically. A woman with preserved energy moves with ease. Ease enhances beauty naturally. She does not look burdened or rushed. Her presence feels grounded. Grounded energy attracts respect and care from others. A woman who practices kind boundaries also teaches others how to treat her. Islam encourages leading by example. When a woman treats herself with respect, others follow that cue. Respectful interactions reduce emotional stress. Less stress preserves youthfulness. Youthfulness is not about age, it is about lightness of spirit. A light spirit shows in expression and movement. This is beauty that deepens over time. Kindness without self-betrayal also refines emotional maturity. A mature woman knows when to give and when to step back. Islam teaches wisdom through reflection. Reflection prevents impulsive self-sacrifice. Thoughtful kindness is balanced and dignified. Dignity enhances beauty because it communicates inner alignment. Aligned women feel settled. Settled hearts reflect peace. Kindness without self-betrayal is not about becoming less caring. It is about becoming more honest. When kindness flows from faith, self-respect, and clarity, it nourishes both the giver and the receiver. That nourishment becomes visible. Over time, a woman who practices this habit does not fade. She grows softer, stronger, and more beautiful in ways that feel natural, calm, and lasting. Letting go of comparison. Letting go of comparison begins with understanding that comparison quietly robs the heart of peace. Islam teaches us that Allah created every soul with intention, measure, and purpose. When a woman constantly compares herself to others, she questions Allah's wisdom without realizing it. She begins to believe that someone else's life, beauty, or success diminishes her own. This belief creates restlessness inside the heart. Restlessness shows on the face as tension, dissatisfaction, and unease. A woman who lets go of comparison returns to gratitude. Gratitude softens the heart. A softened heart reflects calm. Calm enhances beauty naturally. When a woman accepts that Allah distributes gifts differently, she stops competing with other women and starts honoring her own path. This acceptance frees emotional energy that was wasted on measuring and judging. That freed energy becomes presence. Presence is attractive because it feels grounded and real. Islam teaches contentment because contentment protects the heart from envy. Envy drains joy. Joylessness dulls beauty. Letting go of comparison restores joy quietly and steadily. Comparison often begins with what the eyes consume. Islam teaches guarding the gaze because what enters the eyes shapes the heart. A woman who constantly observes others' appearances, relationships, or achievements may unknowingly train her heart to feel less than. This feeling is heavy. Heavy feelings settle into the body. They affect posture, expression, and energy. When a woman consciously reduces comparison, she lightens her inner world. Lightness changes how she carries herself. She becomes less tense and more at ease. Ease enhances beauty because it feels authentic. Authenticity cannot be imitated. It grows when a woman is comfortable being herself. Islam encourages self-awareness, not self-judgment. When awareness replaces judgment, compassion enters. Compassion toward the self reduces inner criticism. Reduced criticism relaxes the face. Relaxation restores softness. Softness adds warmth. Warmth is deeply attractive because it feels safe and sincere. Letting go of comparison also protects emotional health. Comparison often leads to chronic dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction fuels anxiety and sadness. Islam teaches that hearts find rest in remembrance, not rivalry. When a woman remembers Allah instead of measuring herself against others, her heart stabilizes. Stability creates confidence. Confidence grounded in faith does not fluctuate with trends or opinions. This confidence shows quietly. It is not loud or performative. It is steady. Steady confidence is more beautiful than flashy confidence because it feels secure. A woman who lets go of comparison no longer rushes to improve herself out of shame. She improves out of care. Care-based growth is sustainable. Shame-based growth burns out. Burnout shows physically as fatigue and dullness. Letting go of comparison preserves vitality. Vitality reflects as brightness and calm energy. Comparison also distorts self-perception. A woman may overlook her strengths because she is focused on others' highlights. Islam teaches fairness, including fairness to oneself. When a woman stops comparing, she begins to see herself clearly. She recognizes her strengths without arrogance and her weaknesses without self-hatred. This balanced self-view creates emotional stability. Emotional stability reduces reactivity. Reduced reactivity preserves peace. Peace shapes presence. Presence enhances beauty. A woman who is at peace with herself does not try to copy others. Imitation often feels forced. Authenticity feels natural. Natural presence is always more attractive than imitation. Letting go of comparison also deepens relationships. Comparison creates silent competition. Competition creates distance. Islam teaches unity and sisterhood. When a woman stops comparing herself to others, she can appreciate them without envy. Appreciation creates warmth. Warmth shows in facial expression and tone. A woman who celebrates others' success without diminishing herself carries grace. Grace elevates beauty because it reflects maturity. Mature beauty does not depend on being the best, it depends on being at peace. Comparison often intensifies with social media. Islam teaches intentional living. A woman who limits exposure to content that triggers comparison protects her heart. Protected hearts remain calm. Calm hearts reflect softness. Softness enhances beauty naturally. This is not withdrawal, it is wisdom. Wisdom chooses nourishment over noise. Noise overwhelms the nervous system. Overwhelm shows physically. Letting go of comparison quiets that noise. A woman who releases comparison also releases urgency. She stops racing timelines that were never meant for her. Islam teaches trust in Allah's timing. Trust slows the heart. Slowness allows depth. Depth makes beauty timeless. Timeless beauty does not fade with trends or age. It grows with character. Character forms when a woman stops measuring and starts living. Letting go of comparison strengthens self-respect. A woman who respects herself does not constantly place herself below others. Islam teaches that honor comes from Allah. When this truth settles in the heart, comparison loses power. The heart stands firm. Firm hearts carry calm authority. Authority without harshness is attractive. It signals inner alignment. Comparison also steals gratitude. Gratitude restores joy. Islam emphasizes gratitude because it expands contentment. Content women glow differently. Their glow comes from acceptance, not achievement. Acceptance relaxes the body. Relaxed bodies move gracefully. Grace enhances beauty without effort. Letting go of comparison is an act of faith. It is trusting that Allah knew exactly what He was doing when He created you as you are. When a woman accepts this, her beauty stops fighting the world. It begins to flow from peace, gratitude, and quiet confidence, and that beauty only deepens with time. Consistency in self-care, body and soul. Consistency in self-care is what allows a woman's beauty to grow instead of fluctuate. Islam teaches us that the body and soul are trusts from Allah, not possessions to neglect or abuse. Many women focus on self-care only when they feel exhausted, broken, or overwhelmed, but true care is not reactive, it is consistent. A woman who cares for herself daily, even in small ways, protects her energy and preserves her well-being. This consistency creates stability inside the body and calm inside the heart. When the body is cared for regularly, it responds with strength, balance, and vitality. When the soul is nourished consistently, it responds with peace and clarity. Beauty is the natural result of this balance. It is not sudden or dramatic. It is steady and lasting. Islam values moderation and routine because routine protects us from extremes. A woman who practices daily self-care does not burn herself out trying to look or feel perfect. She grows healthier, calmer, and more radiant over time. That quiet growth is what makes beauty endure. Consistent self-care teaches a woman to listen to her needs without guilt. Islam does not teach self-neglect in the name of patience. Patience does not mean ignoring your body's signals or silencing your soul's fatigue. A woman who rests when she needs rest and slows down when her heart feels heavy is practicing wisdom. Wisdom reduces stress. Reduced stress protects both appearance and emotional health. Chronic stress tightens the face, disrupts sleep, and drains energy. Consistent care interrupts that cycle. When a woman sleeps regularly, eats mindfully, and moves her body gently, her system begins to heal. Healing shows physically, skin improves, energy stabilizes, mood lifts. These are not cosmetic changes, they are signs of balance returning. Balance creates a soft glow that effort alone cannot produce. Islam teaches balance because imbalance harms the self. Consistent self-care restores balance quietly and effectively. Self-care of the soul is just as important as care of the body. Islam teaches that the heart needs nourishment just like the body. Prayer, dhikr, and reflection are not luxuries, they are maintenance. A woman who connects with Allah daily releases emotional burdens before they accumulate. Accumulated burdens weigh down the heart and face. Regular spiritual care lightens that weight. Lightness appears as calm eyes, relaxed expressions, and a peaceful presence. A woman who remembers Allah consistently does not carry the world alone. That relief changes how she moves through life. Her beauty becomes restful rather than tense. Restful beauty feels safe and comforting to others. It does not demand attention, it invites respect. Consistency in self-care also builds self-respect. When a woman shows up for herself daily, she sends a message inward that she matters. Islam teaches that honoring the self is part of honoring the Creator. A woman who respects her body does not abuse it with neglect or extremes. She chooses routines she can sustain. Sustainability is key. Short bursts of effort fade quickly. Consistent care builds strength slowly. Slow strength lasts. Lasting strength supports posture, energy, and confidence. Confidence rooted in care feels calm, not aggressive. Calm confidence enhances beauty naturally. Consistent self-care reduces emotional reactivity. When the body is rested and the soul is nourished, emotions are easier to manage. Islam teaches restraint and reflection. A woman who is not emotionally depleted can pause before reacting. This pause protects dignity. Dignity reflects outward as composure. Composed women appear more graceful because their inner world is not in chaos. Chaos often shows on the face as tension and sharpness. Self-care softens that sharpness. Softness combined with strength is deeply attractive. Consistency also protects a woman from burnout. Burnout dulls the spirit and dims the eyes. Islam encourages balance to prevent exhaustion. A woman who cares for herself regularly does not wait until she is empty. She replenishes before depletion. This proactive care preserves vitality. Vitality is visible. It shows in movement, expression, and tone. A vital woman feels alive yet calm. That combination is rare and beautiful. Self-care consistency also strengthens discipline. Discipline rooted in care feels gentle, not punishing. Islam teaches intention behind action. When self-care is done with intention, it becomes an act of worship. Caring for the body allows a woman to worship better. Caring for the soul allows her to live better. This alignment creates inner harmony. Harmony reflects outward as ease. Ease enhances beauty because it feels natural. A woman consistent in self-care also becomes less dependent on external validation. She feels grounded internally. Islam teaches inner sufficiency through faith. When a woman meets her own needs responsibly, she does not seek constant reassurance. This independence stabilizes emotion. Stable emotion supports peaceful presence. Peaceful presence attracts respect. Consistency in self-care also improves resilience. Life will bring challenges. A woman who maintains her routines through difficulty remains anchored. Islam teaches steadfastness. Steadfast women do not collapse under pressure. Their strength shows quietly. Quiet strength is timeless beauty. Consistency in self-care is not about luxury or indulgence. It is about responsibility. When a woman honors her body and soul daily, her beauty does not fade with stress or age. It deepens with peace, balance, and faith, and that kind of beauty lasts. Beauty that fades quickly is built on attention. Beauty that lasts is built on alignment. When a woman develops habits rooted in faith, self-respect, and inner calm, her presence changes. She doesn't try to be seen, she is noticed. She doesn't chase validation, she attracts respect. And over time, her beauty deepens instead of disappearing. Because the most beautiful women are not the loudest, they are the most anchored.